Chosen ones, this is no ordinary moment. If your eyes have been guided to these words, it is not by chance, it is by divine appointment. God has orchestrated this very moment to prepare you for what is about to unfold in your life. The struggles, the waiting, the closed doors, they have all been leading up to this. A divine shift is taking place, and those who have been faithful, those who have endured, are about to witness a miracle beyond comprehension. For too long, you have watched from the sidelines as others walked into their blessings, wondering when your time would come. But hear this, your time is now. Everything that was delayed, every opportunity that seemed just out of reach, is aligning in your favor. This is not just about finances. It is about walking fully into the destiny God has set for you. The wealth, the breakthroughs, the blessings, they are all moving toward you at this very moment. Before we step deeper into this powerful revelation, take a moment to step into alignment with this divine shift. Hit the like button, subscribe to stay connected, and comment 77 below as a declaration of faith. This simple act is not just engagement, it is a sign that you are ready to receive what God is preparing for you. And to all of you who have sown seeds of faith through Super Thanks, your support is deeply appreciated. Your generosity is not unseen, and just as you have given, expect an outpouring of abundance to return to you in ways you never imagined. Now prepare yourself, because what comes next will change everything. Stay with me, because in just a moment, I will reveal exactly why this financial miracle is coming to you and what you must do to step into it. God's chosen ones, warning. If you see this, a financial miracle is coming to you. Something extraordinary is unfolding in your life at this very moment. The forces of heaven have been working behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways you cannot yet see. Have you ever wondered why your spirit feels restless? Why there is an unshakable sense that change is near? That is not just a fleeting thought, it is divine confirmation. The waiting, the struggles, the silent prayers you thought went unheard. God has been listening all along. Every tear you shed, every battle you endured, every sacrifice you made when you had nothing left, He saw it all. And now, the time of reward is upon you. Think of Joseph, a man sold into slavery by his own brothers and left to languish in prison for years. Genesis 37:23-28. From the outside, his dreams of greatness seemed shattered. But in a single, divinely appointed moment, Pharaoh called for him, and in an instant he went from prisoner to ruler of Egypt. Genesis 41:14-41. Could it be that your breakthrough is just as close? That the very trials designed to break you were actually preparing you for elevation? As you read these words, the shift is happening. The version of you that lived in doubt, the one who struggled with unworthiness, the one who feared the future, that person is fading away. You are walking into a new reality, one where God's abundance flows freely in your life, where His favor opens doors no man can shut. Revelation 3:8. Can you feel it? The shift from lack to overflow, from waiting to receiving, from hoping to stepping into divine manifestation. This is your season. History is filled with stories of those who held on to faith when everything seemed lost. Oprah Winfrey, now one of the most influential women in media, was once told she wasn't fit for television. She faced rejection, criticism, and unimaginable hardships. Yet she persevered, believing in a greater purpose. Tyler Perry, a filmmaker and entrepreneur, once lived in his car, homeless and struggling to make ends meet. Time and time again his dreams were dismissed, but he refused to give up. Both of them, like Joseph, saw their lowest moments turn into stepping stones for divine breakthroughs. Nothing, no force on this earth can hinder what God has already set in motion for you. You are chosen, anointed, and positioned for this very moment. So, prepare yourself. The doors of abundance are swinging open. Your breakthrough is unfolding, and the financial miracle God has planned for you is already making its way into your life. Can you embrace it? Can you step forward in faith, knowing that what is written in heaven is now manifesting on earth? This is not just another day. This is the moment God has ordained for your transformation. You have walked through storms that would have broken others. The hardships, the doubts, the setbacks, they have been relentless. But through it all, God was never absent. Can you recall moments when you thought you were alone, only to realize later that divine protection had been surrounding you all along? Every obstacle you encountered was more than just an inconvenience. It was a lesson designed to equip you. Every delay was not a denial, but a period of preparation. And every trial you faced was a refining fire, shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. Look at the story of Job, a man who lost everything: his wealth, his health, and even his loved ones. His so-called friends doubted him. His wife told him to curse God, and yet, in his suffering, he remained faithful. What happened in the end? God restored everything to Job, blessing him with twice as much as he had before. Job 42:10. Could it be that your own struggles are leading to a double portion of blessings? What if the setbacks you endured were not setbacks at all, but the foundation of something greater? Now, as you step into this new season, understand that nothing has been wasted. Your pain had a purpose. Your waiting had a reason. What once seemed like an endless series of struggles will now reveal itself as part of God's divine plan. Suddenly, doors you never expected to open will swing wide before you. Opportunities will emerge where there were once only roadblocks. And those who doubted you, the ones who mocked your faith, who dismissed your dreams, will witness what happens when God's favor rests upon His chosen ones. Not because you sought revenge or validation, but because the light of God's glory in your life will be impossible to ignore. Think of David, overlooked by his own family, underestimated by King Saul, and ridiculed by Goliath. 1 Samuel 16:11-13, 1 Samuel 17:42-44. Yet, when the time came, the very people who dismissed him had no choice but to recognize the anointing on his life. Are you ready for that moment? The moment when the world realizes that God's hand has been on you all along. But understand this: abundance is not just about material wealth. True prosperity is peace that surpasses all understanding, a purpose that fuels your soul, and the fulfillment of your divine calling. It is about stepping into your true identity as one of God's chosen ones, walking boldly in the authority He has given you. The moment you stop seeking approval from the world and begin walking in alignment with God's plan, the floodgates of blessing will open. Why? Because you were never meant to live in limitation. You were always meant to reflect the boundless glory of God. This is your defining moment. The struggles that once weighed you down are now part of your testimony. What seemed impossible is now inevitable. Everything is shifting, aligning, and coming together in divine order. Many have walked this path before you. Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks, grew up in poverty, facing rejection after rejection before building one of the most successful brands in the world. He once said that he was driven not by money, but by a deeper sense of purpose. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was once a struggling single mother living on government assistance, rejected by multiple publishers. But she held on to her vision, and in due time, her work transformed the literary world. What if your journey is following the same divine pattern? What if your breakthrough is just around the corner, waiting for the perfect moment to be revealed? So, prepare yourself. The battles you fought were never meant to defeat you. They were meant to build you. God is about to show up in ways that will leave you speechless. The waiting season has come to an end. The time for your breakthrough has arrived. Can you feel it? The divine shift is happening now. You may have been overlooked, underestimated, or even betrayed. But have you ever considered that every rejection, every closed door, and every painful moment was not a setback, but a setup? God was never absent from your journey. What if those who dismissed you were merely playing their part in a greater plan, one designed to bring you exactly where you need to be? Think of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers and later thrown into prison for a crime he did not commit. Genesis 37:23-28, Genesis 39:20. To the world, he looked like a man forsaken, but in God's perfect timing, he was elevated to a position of power, second only to Pharaoh. Genesis 41:41-44. The very ones who betrayed him were forced to witness his rise. Could it be that your own story is following the same divine pattern? That those who overlooked you will soon see what God had planned for you all along? Understand this: you do not need their validation. You only need God's approval, and that has already been given to you. His favor is upon you, and when God declares you chosen, no opinion, no rejection, no betrayal can alter your destiny. It is written in Psalm 75:6-7 that promotion does not come from the east or the west, but from the Lord. If he has called you to rise, no earthly force can hold you back. But your blessings are not just for you. Have you ever thought about how your testimony will impact others? There will be people who see your life and find hope, who will look at your journey and realize that faith, perseverance, and divine alignment lead to unimaginable rewards. Just as the world was inspired by Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years in prison before emerging as a global symbol of resilience and justice, your story will be proof that God is faithful. Or consider Oprah Winfrey, who faced rejection early in her career but refused to let failure define her. She has since used her success to uplift others, proving that obstacles are often stepping stones. What if your own struggles are meant to be someone else's inspiration? So stand tall, chosen one. The struggles that once held you down are about to be replaced with blessings so overwhelming that even you will be left in awe. The God who turned mourning into dancing, Psalm 30:11, is about to rewrite your story in ways you never imagined. Get ready to receive. Get ready to step into your divine inheritance, and get ready to live the life you were always destined for. The season of waiting is ending. The doors of abundance are opening. Can you sense it? Your time has come. The enemy worked hard to keep you trapped in a cycle of lack, doubt, and fear. Have you noticed how every time you tried to move forward, something seemed to pull you back? Those were not just coincidences. They were strategic attacks designed to keep you from realizing your divine inheritance. But hear this: those chains are breaking. The season of scarcity is ending. No longer will you live just to survive, struggling to make ends meet. What if I told you that God has already gone ahead of you, opening doors you never even knew existed? That he is positioning you in places you never imagined stepping into? Think of Esther, a Jewish orphan who was raised in obscurity but was divinely positioned to become Queen of Persia. Esther 2:17. She had no royal lineage, no natural claim to greatness, yet God placed her in a palace, giving her influence beyond her wildest dreams. When the time came, she used that position not just for herself, but to save an entire nation. Esther 4:14. Could it be that the blessings God is about to pour into your life are not just for you, but also for those who need your testimony? What if your breakthrough is meant to ignite the faith of someone who is still in their waiting season? Understand this: what is coming to you will not just elevate your life, it will serve as a living testament to the power of faith and perseverance. There are people watching, people searching for proof that God is still moving in the lives of his chosen ones. When they see your transformation, they will know that His promises are true. Look at the story of Tyler Perry, a man who once lived in his car, struggling to make his dreams a reality. Rejected, overlooked, and burdened by failure, he could have given up. But he clung to faith. Today he is a billionaire, owning one of the largest film studios in the world. His story is not just about wealth. It is about perseverance, divine timing, and unwavering trust in God's plan. Could it be that you are on the verge of your own divine turnaround? Stay focused, stay expectant. The shift has already begun, and nothing, no opposition, no delay, no human opinion, can stop what has been set in motion for you. Just as the Red Sea parted for the Israelites when it seemed like there was no way forward. Exodus 14:21-22. Your obstacles are about to be removed in ways that will leave you speechless. Your wealth, your purpose, your divine inheritance, it is all unfolding right now. Get ready, chosen one. The waiting is over. Your time has finally arrived. Can you feel it? The breakthrough is already here. Your transformation is not just about you. Have you ever considered that what you are about to walk into is far greater than personal success? This is a demonstration of God's power in action. The moment you step into your breakthrough, the world will take notice. The ones who doubted you, who dismissed you, who whispered that you would never rise, they will have no choice but to witness the undeniable work of God in your life. And here is the most powerful part. You will not have to say a single word. Your success, your blessings, and the favor upon your life will speak louder than anything else. Think of Daniel, a man thrown into the lion's den because of his unwavering faith. Daniel 6:16. His enemies expected his destruction, yet the next morning he emerged unharmed. The same king who signed his death sentence was forced to acknowledge the power of the God Daniel served. Daniel 6:26-27. Could it be that your struggles have been preparing the stage for a similar divine revelation? That those who opposed you will soon see that no human force can block what God has ordained? Every financial struggle, every setback, every silent tear you shed, it was never in vain. Do you remember the story of Job? A man who lost everything, his wealth, his family, his health, yet remained faithful. Job 1:20-22. And in the end, what did God do? He restored Job with twice as much as he had before. Job 42:10. What if your own season of struggle has simply been a setup for a double portion of favor? The wealth you're about to receive is not just about material abundance. It is a reflection of divine favor. True prosperity is not merely measured in financial gain, but in the peace, purpose, and spiritual elevation that come with it. Look at Denzel Washington, one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. Many people know him for his success, but few realize that early in his career he faced rejection and self-doubt. He has openly shared how his faith in God guided him through difficult times and how he prays before every major decision. Today, he attributes his success not just to talent, but to divine alignment. What if your blessings, like his, are tied to your obedience and unwavering faith in God's plan? God is using your life as a living example that faith and patience always bring rewards. He is proving to the world that when he blesses his chosen ones, there is no limit to the abundance he provides. The question is, are you ready to receive? Are you ready to walk into a season where what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable? Your breakthrough is already unfolding. The world is about to see what happens when divine favor rests upon you. Get ready. Your testimony is in the making. You may have questioned if you were worthy. Have you ever wondered whether your prayers were going unanswered, whether God had forgotten you? There were nights when doubt crept in, when the silence felt unbearable, and when you wondered if all your efforts were in vain. But hear this now. God has been preparing you for this moment all along. What if every delay you faced was not a denial, but divine timing in motion? What if every closed door was not a rejection, but a redirection toward something far greater? Consider Abraham, a man to whom God promised descendants as numerous as the stars, Genesis 15:5. Yet he waited decades before seeing that promise fulfilled. There were moments when the waiting must have felt endless, when logic said it was too late. But God never breaks his word. When the time was right, Sarah gave birth to Isaac, proving that what God ordains will always come to pass. Genesis 21:1-3. Could it be that your own breakthrough is now arriving at its appointed time? And when your riches come, do not forget where you came from. Do not forget the prayers you whispered in the darkness, the moments you almost gave up, the faith you held on to when everything seemed impossible. True wealth is not just about material abundance, it is about purpose. God is not just blessing you for your comfort, He is equipping you to be a blessing to others. Have you ever considered that your breakthrough is not just for you, but for those who will be inspired by your journey? Look at Steve Harvey, a comedian, actor, and television host who once found himself living in his car, struggling to make ends meet. He often speaks about the days when he had no money, no stability, and no clear path forward. Yet, even in his lowest moments, he refused to lose faith. He trusted that God had greater plans for him. And now, not only has he achieved financial success, but he uses his influence to uplift and mentor others, ensuring that his blessings extend beyond himself. What if your wealth is coming not just to change your life, but to impact those who are still waiting for their own breakthrough? Stand firm in your faith. The floodgates of heaven are opening, and what is about to pour into your life will be greater than you ever imagined. The season of waiting is truly over. This is your moment, your wealth, your freedom, your divine breakthrough. It is unfolding right now. Can you feel it? The shift is already happening. Get ready, chosen one. The time has come. You must understand this. The blessing that is coming to you is not ordinary. It is supernatural. What God is about to do in your life will not follow the logic of this world. It will defy human understanding, leaving people speechless. They will try to explain it, rationalize it, even discredit it, but they will fail. Because this wealth, this breakthrough, is divine. It is orchestrated by the one who owns the heavens and the earth. Psalm 24:1. For too long you have been overlooked, underestimated, and left in the background. But have you ever considered that all this time God was setting you apart? That He was preparing something so extraordinary that when it finally manifests, it will erase every ounce of struggle and replace it with overwhelming abundance. Think of David, a shepherd boy who was ignored by his own family when the prophet Samuel came looking for a king, 1 Samuel 16:11. Yet God had already chosen him, and when the time came, no one could deny the anointing on his life. Could it be that you too have been hidden for a divine purpose, only to be revealed at the perfect moment? The shift is already in motion, and nothing can stop it. Do you remember the moments when you almost gave up? The times when you questioned if all the sacrifice was worth it? God saw you in those moments. He heard your silent prayers. He felt your pain. And now He is turning every hardship into an unstoppable blessing. This wealth is not just for survival. It is for expansion. It is for growth. It is for you to step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Look at Oprah Winfrey, a woman who faced rejection, poverty, and adversity at every turn. As a child, she wore potato sacks because her family could not afford proper clothes. Yet she held on to her belief that she was destined for something greater. She faced countless obstacles, but in time, she rose to become one of the most influential figures in the world. And today, her wealth is not just for herself. She has built schools, funded scholarships, and lifted others up. What if your own breakthrough is not just about you, but about the people God is calling you to bless? The floodgates of heaven are opening, and what is about to pour into your life will be greater than you ever imagined. The time of struggle is ending. The time of supernatural overflow is beginning. Get ready, chosen one. Your divine inheritance is here. You are not just stepping into riches, you are stepping into purpose. Can you feel it? This is more than just financial gain. It is the fulfillment of a destiny that was written for you long before you ever realized it. Before you were even formed, God knew you, set you apart, and appointed you for something greater. Jeremiah 1:5. And now, the time has come for you to walk in it. But here is something you must remember. Not everyone will be happy for you. When God blesses His chosen ones, there will always be those who resent it. Some will ask, why you? Why now? Why in this way? But their opinions do not matter. Have you ever considered that their doubt is simply proof that what is happening in your life is beyond human reasoning? Look at Joseph, a man whose own brothers despised him because of the favor God placed on his life. Genesis 37:4. They sold him into slavery, thinking they had destroyed his future. But what happened? The very person they tried to eliminate was elevated to a position of power in Egypt, and in the end, they had to come to him for help. Genesis 45:4-5. Could it be that the very people who underestimated you will one day witness your rise with astonishment? Do not waste time explaining yourself to those who will never understand. Do not look back at those who tried to keep you small. Their place in your story was never to celebrate you. It was to push you closer to your divine calling. And now they will watch from the sidelines as you step into your abundance. When they ask how it happened, when they wonder why you, the answer will be simple: because God said so. This is not just about material wealth. It is about stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Think of Sarah Jakes Roberts, the daughter of renowned pastor T.D. Jakes. As a teenager, she faced public scrutiny when she became a mother at just 14 years old. Many people wrote her off, believing her future was ruined. But God had other plans. She rose from her struggles, embraced her calling, and today she's a best-selling author, a powerful speaker, and a leader inspiring countless people worldwide. Her testimony is living proof that when God calls you, no mistake, no judgment, and no past failure can stop His purpose from unfolding. Could it be that your own breakthrough is about to silence every doubt spoken against you? This is your time. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Step forward in faith and embrace the wealth, the favor, and the purpose that have already been released for you. The shift has already begun. Your destiny is waiting. Will you walk into it? Chosen one, you must understand something critical. This is only the beginning. What God is about to release into your life is not a temporary blessing. It is not a fleeting moment of favor. This is a continuous, unstoppable flow of abundance, a divine inheritance that will not run dry. Can you imagine living in a season where blessings do not come and go but remain, where provision is not uncertain but overflowing? That is what is unfolding before you now. The struggles you have faced were not in vain. Have you ever wondered why your journey was filled with so many trials? Why the road seemed harder for you than for others? It was because God was preparing you for something greater. You were tested in the fire, refined through adversity, and strengthened in seasons where everything seemed against you. But what if those hardships were never meant to break you, but to build you? God was using those moments to deepen your faith, sharpen your discernment, and anchor your trust in Him. And now, because you remained steadfast, because you refused to let go of His promises, you are stepping into a life of divine overflow. But here's what you must remember. This wealth is not just for you. It is for a higher purpose. God is not blessing you so that you can store up treasures for yourself. He is equipping you to be a vessel of His power and love. Have you ever considered that your breakthrough might be the answer to someone else's prayer? That the resources coming into your hands are meant to open doors for others? Think of Solomon, a man who asked God not for riches, but for wisdom. 1 Kings 3:9. Because his heart was aligned with God's purpose, not only did he receive wisdom beyond measure, but he was also given wealth, honor, and influence that surpassed every ruler of his time. 1 Kings 3:12-13. Could it be that your own willingness to use your blessings for God's glory is the key to an even greater outpouring? When people see your success, they will know it was not by luck or human effort. It will be undeniable that the hand of God was upon you. Look at Chris Gardner, the entrepreneur and motivational speaker whose journey inspired the pursuit of happiness. Once homeless, sleeping in subway bathrooms with his young son, he refused to give up. He worked tirelessly, trusted in a vision greater than his circumstances, and eventually became a multi-millionaire. But more importantly, he used his success to lift others, mentoring, giving, and inspiring people to push beyond their struggles. His story is proof that wealth gained through perseverance and faith carries a purpose far beyond personal gain. What if your success is about more than just you? What if God is positioning you to be a blessing to generations? This is the moment where everything shifts. The doors of abundance are opening, not just for your comfort, but for your calling. Stand firm, chosen one. Walk boldly into this next season, knowing that the blessings coming your way are divinely appointed. The world will see, and they will know, this is the work of God. There will be those who try to attach themselves to you for the wrong reasons. Have you ever noticed that when you were struggling, some people only offered just enough support to keep you dependent, but never enough to help you rise? Now that God is elevating you, the motives of those around you will become clear. Not everyone deserves access to this new level of your life. Some will come with hidden agendas, pretending to support you, while secretly hoping for your downfall. That is why you must move forward with wisdom and discernment. Not everyone clapping for you is truly happy for you. Some people smiled while you struggled because it made them feel superior. But now that God's favor is upon you, their true feelings will be exposed. Jesus himself experienced this. Judas was among his closest disciples, yet in the end he betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. Matthew 26:14-16. If Jesus, who walked in pure love, was betrayed by someone close to him, should it surprise you when certain people turn against you as well? Do not be alarmed when some distance themselves. That is not rejection. That is God removing those who were never meant to be part of your future. Your circle must be refined. Have you considered the weight of what you are stepping into? Wealth is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. Look at Joseph. When he was elevated to second in command over Egypt, he did not surround himself with those who would drain him, but with those who helped him fulfill his purpose. Genesis 41:41-43. Who is in your inner circle? Are they people who will encourage your growth, or will they hinder your destiny? Surround yourself with those who understand the responsibility of wealth, not just the benefits. Seek those who uplift you, who encourage you, who pray for you in private, not just those who celebrate you in public. Think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, one of the most successful actors and entrepreneurs today. He often shares how, in his early years, he was abandoned by people who only stayed when he had something to offer. But instead of becoming bitter, he became wiser about the company he kept. He now surrounds himself with a team of people who support his vision, understand the weight of responsibility, and push him to be better. What if your next breakthrough depends on who is standing beside you? Chosen one, this is the season where everything shifts. Be intentional, be discerning. The right people will elevate you, while the wrong ones will drain you. God is calling you higher. Choose wisely who comes with you. This next season is not just about riches, it is about divine alignment. Have you ever felt that deep knowing inside? That sense that something bigger is unfolding even before you see the evidence? What is coming will change everything. This is not just about financial gain, it is about stepping fully into the calling that was placed upon your life before you were even born. Jeremiah 1:5. The shift has already begun. What God is doing for you cannot be undone, delayed, or denied. No force on earth can stop what has been set in motion. Stay focused, stay faithful, and most importantly, stay ready. Chosen one, you are not just stepping into wealth. You are stepping into a legacy. What God is pouring into your life is far greater than material abundance. It is generational. Have you ever wondered why the struggles you endured felt heavier than what others faced? It is because you were chosen to break the cycles that held your family back. You are the one called to shift the entire trajectory of your bloodline. Consider Abraham, a man called by God to leave behind everything he knew, to walk into a promise he could not yet see. Genesis 12:1-3. Through his obedience, God didn't just bless him. He established a covenant that would extend through generations. Abraham's descendants became a great nation, not because of his strength, but because of divine favor. Could it be that your obedience, your perseverance, and your faithfulness are unlocking a generational blessing that will outlive you? This is about breaking every chain of struggle, every cycle of lack, and every limitation that has plagued your lineage. The debts, the hardships, the battles to survive. God is removing it all and replacing it with prosperity that will stand the test of time. Look at LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He grew up in poverty, raised by a single mother who did everything she could to keep them afloat. He could have been another statistic, another person trapped in generational struggle. But he chose to rise. Today, he is not just wealthy. He has built schools, funded scholarships, and created opportunities that will impact lives long after he is gone. What if your own breakthrough is meant to do the same? What if God is positioning you to create a legacy that will bless generations? This is bigger than you. This is about establishing a foundation so strong that those who come after you will never have to fight the same battles you did. The suffering that plagued your ancestors ends with you. The cycle of struggle stops now. The doors of abundance are opening, and what God is releasing into your life will not only bless you, but will overflow into your children, your children's children, and beyond. Are you ready to walk into it? The shift has already begun. Step boldly, chosen one. Your legacy starts now. But with this level of blessing comes great responsibility. Have you ever considered that wealth is not just a gift, but a test? You must be a wise steward of what is given to you. Jesus taught in the parable of the talents that those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with more, but those who waste what they are given will lose even that. Matthew 25:14-30. How will you handle what God is placing in your hands? Will you use it for selfish gain, or will you build something meaningful? Will you hoard it, or will you multiply it and uplift others? Understand this. The enemy will try to distract you. The moment you begin to rise, the attacks will come. Have you noticed how battles intensify right before a breakthrough? People from your past may reappear, pretending to be for you, but their intentions will not always be pure. Watch their actions, not just their words. Some people are coming back not because they love you, but because they see what is coming to you. Not everyone can handle seeing you win. Some people liked you better when you were struggling because it made them feel superior. But now, as you elevate, their insecurities will surface. Even Jesus faced this. He was celebrated when he performed miracles, but the moment he stepped fully into his divine assignment, those same voices turned against him. Luke 23:21. Do not be surprised when some distance themselves, when jealousy rises, or when those who once overlooked you suddenly demand access. That is not rejection. That is God protecting you from those who were never meant to go where He is leading you. Do not be distracted. God is setting you apart for a reason. Have you ever wondered why certain relationships ended? Why some people walked away? It was not by accident. Elevation requires separation. When God took Joseph from the prison to the palace, not everyone from his past was invited into his new season. Genesis 41:41-43. Could it be that God is doing the same for you? That He is pruning your circle, so that only those who truly align with your destiny remain? This is your time to move wisely. Look at Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history. He did not inherit his wealth. He built it through discipline, patience, and wise stewardship. Even when he became one of the richest men in the world, he remained focused on a greater purpose, pledging to give away most of his fortune to bless others. What if your wealth is not just for you, but for something much greater? What if your financial breakthrough is a kingdom assignment designed to impact lives beyond your own? Remain focused. Stay disciplined. Do not lose sight of your purpose, because what is coming is bigger than you. God has chosen you for something extraordinary. Will you rise to the occasion? This is not just an opportunity. This is a calling. Step into it with wisdom. The kingdom is waiting. The world may have doubted you, underestimated you, even cast you aside. Have you ever felt invisible, as if no one truly saw your potential, as if every effort you made went unnoticed? Those days are over. The time of struggle, of feeling unseen, of wondering if your moment will ever come. It all ends now. You have been chosen, set apart for something far greater than you ever imagined, and the proof of that is about to unfold in your life. When God sets someone apart, He does not do it randomly. He does it with purpose. Think of David, the shepherd boy, who was ignored by his own family when Samuel came looking for a king. 1 Samuel 16:11. To the world, he was just a boy tending sheep, but to God, he was already anointed. And when the time came, no force on earth could stop his rise to the throne. Could it be that you, too, have been hidden for such a time as this? Every hardship you have endured has been a test, a necessary step in shaping you for the blessings that are now being released. Have you ever questioned why your path seemed so much harder than others? The betrayals, the losses, the setbacks, they were not in vain. They were preparing you, refining you, and strengthening you for the abundance that is about to overflow into your life. Look at Viola Davis, one of the most accomplished actresses in Hollywood today. She grew up in extreme poverty, often going without food. For years, she was overlooked, doubted, and cast aside. But she never let the struggles define her. She allowed them to refine her. Through perseverance and faith, she rose to become an icon, using her platform to empower others. And today, she often speaks about how her pain became her power. What if your own struggles were never meant to break you, but to build you into the person God always intended you to be? God never forgot you. He was watching, orchestrating every moment, even when you couldn't see it. Every closed door was not a rejection, it was a redirection. Every delay was not a denial, it was a divine setup for something greater. And now, He is ready to pour into your life in ways that will leave you speechless. Are you ready to receive it? The time is here. The doors of abundance are swinging open. Step into your moment, because this is only the beginning. The financial breakthrough that once felt so far away is now closer than ever. Have you sensed the shift, the heaviness lifting, the doors that once seemed sealed shut now creaking open? The wealth you have prayed for is not just coming, it has already been set in motion. What once felt impossible is now inevitable. The very things that seemed out of reach, opportunities, resources, divine connections, are about to appear right before you. You are stepping into a season of divine favor where struggle will be exchanged for success, where worry will be replaced with peace, and where lack will give way to overwhelming abundance. No longer will you live in fear of what tomorrow holds. How many nights have you spent wondering if things would ever change? How often have you questioned if you were truly meant for financial freedom? You're not just worthy, you're destined for it. God's plan for you was never endless suffering. It was to bring you through the fire, through the testing, so that when your moment of victory arrived, you would be ready to handle it. Think of Joseph, betrayed, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and later imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Genesis 37:23 to 28:39-20. The world would have seen him as a man doomed to fail, but in one divine moment everything shifted. Pharaoh called for him, elevated him to the highest position in Egypt, and placed the nation's wealth under his command. Genesis 41:41 to 44. What if your breakthrough is coming in the same way? Sudden, undeniable, and impossible for anyone to stop. Look around you. The shift has already begun. What was working against you is now aligning in your favor. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right resources are being divinely positioned. The wealth that has been stored up for you is now being released. Proverbs 13:22 says, "The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous." Could it be that what seemed delayed was simply being prepared for you at the perfect time? Get ready, chosen one. Look at Jim Carrey, one of the highest paid actors in the world today. Many don't know that before his success he was homeless, living in a van and struggling to survive. But he believed in his future so deeply that he once wrote himself a check for $10 million, dated it for a future year, and carried it with him as a declaration of faith. Years later, he was cast in a major film and received a paycheck for that exact amount. He didn't just hope, he positioned himself in faith for what was coming. What if your preparation and faith in this moment are setting you up for an unimaginable breakthrough? Your life is about to change in ways you never thought possible. Are you ready to step into it? The divine doors are open. Step forward and claim what has always been yours. This is your confirmation. Every hardship, every moment of doubt, every silent tear, it was never in vain. Have you ever wondered why the struggle was so intense? Why the road felt longer for you than for others? It was never meant to break you, it was meant to prepare you. And now your preparation is complete. God is calling you into a new reality, one where prosperity is your new normal. The chains that held you back, the fear, the debt, the uncertainty, are breaking. Can you feel it? The weight that once burdened you is lifting. You are stepping into a season where every move you make is aligned with divine favor, where opportunities find you, and where abundance flows effortlessly into your life. Think of the Israelites as they stood at the edge of the promised land. They had wandered in the wilderness for years, living in uncertainty, depending daily on God for provision. But the moment came when God declared their season of lack was over. Deuteronomy 6:10-11. They were stepping into a land overflowing with blessing. Houses they did not build, vineyards they did not plant, and a future they could finally claim as their own. Could it be that your wilderness season has now ended, that you too are about to step into a land of overflow? What once felt impossible is now unfolding before your eyes. You will look back at this moment and realize this was the turning point. The shift is happening, and nothing can stop it. Those who doubted you, who whispered behind your back, who assumed you would never rise, they will witness your elevation. And those who supported you in the struggle will celebrate with you. But most importantly, you will stand in awe of what God has done. You will see His hand so clearly in your life that it will leave you speechless. Prepare yourself. This isn't just about money. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Wealth and abundance are not just blessings, they are tools. Have you ever considered that the resources coming your way are not just for your comfort, but for a greater purpose? Look at Kanye West, a man who went from struggling to get his music heard to becoming a billionaire entrepreneur. His journey has been filled with ups and downs, yet through it all, he has openly credited God for his success and has used his influence to inspire others in faith. What if your breakthrough is not just for you, but for those who will witness your transformation and find hope in it? You are chosen, you are destined, and now you are ready. Step forward. The promise is no longer coming, it is here. This is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of the life you were always meant to live. Can you feel it? The weight of past struggles lifting, the shift happening all around you. This is your moment. The door has been opened, the blessing is here, and nothing can stop what God has set in motion. Get ready, chosen one. Step forward with confidence, knowing that you were created for this very season. Everything that once stood in your way is falling. The doubts, the delays, the moments when you questioned if this day would ever come, it was all leading to this. Every prayer whispered in faith, every sacrifice made in obedience, every step taken despite fear, none of it was in vain. Think of the story of Esther. She was an orphan, an outsider, a woman with no status. But what seemed like an ordinary life was actually a setup for something greater. She was chosen to be queen, not for personal gain, but for a divine assignment. And when the time came to step into her purpose, Mordecai reminded her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther 4:14. Could it be that everything in your life has been preparing you for this very moment? God has not forgotten you. The abundance now flowing into your life is not just a blessing, it is a statement of His unwavering love and faithfulness. Have you ever considered that what is happening in your life is not just for you, but also a testimony to those who are watching? Look at Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. Most people know the brand, but few realize that he didn't find success until he was in his 60s. Before then, he faced repeated failures, financial struggles, and endless rejection. But he refused to give up. He believed in the vision that God had placed within him, and in time, his perseverance paid off. Today, his legacy is worldwide. What if your breakthrough is meant to inspire someone still waiting for theirs? This is the moment where everything aligns, where destiny meets divine intervention. You are walking into overflow, into divine favor, into the life that was always meant for you. The world is about to see what happens when God remembers His chosen ones. Step boldly. The journey is just beginning. You are stepping into a new reality, one where wealth is not just material, but spiritual, emotional, and generational. Have you ever felt like your blessings were delayed? Like you were constantly striving, but never quite reaching the breakthrough you longed for? That season ends now. The doors that were once locked are opening, and the burdens that once weighed you down are being lifted. You will rise, not just for yourself, but as a testimony. Your journey is not just about personal success. It is about proving to the world that God provides, that He elevates, and that He rewards those who remain steadfast. Think of Job, a man who lost everything, his wealth, his health, his family, yet refused to turn away from God. Job 1:20 through 22. In the end, God restored him with twice as much as before. Job 42:10. What if your own restoration is about to be revealed? What if every loss you endured was just setting the stage for an overflowing, undeniable blessing? This is your season of elevation. But understand, this is not just about financial breakthrough. This is about reclaiming your divine inheritance. The enemy tried to keep you in a mindset of lack, to convince you that struggle was your destiny. But God's word says otherwise. The blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. Do you see it now? You were never meant to struggle forever. Your pain was not permanent. It was part of the process. And now it is being replaced with unimaginable joy, stability, and fulfillment. Look at J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Before she became the first billionaire author, she was a single mother living on government assistance, struggling to survive. Rejected by multiple publishers, she could have given up, but she refused. Today, her success is more than just personal wealth. She has used her platform to bless others, support charities, and change lives. What if your breakthrough is meant to do the same? What if your story will inspire those who are still waiting for their own victory? The shift has already begun. You are walking into the fullness of God's promises. The world is about to witness what happens when faith meets divine favor. Step forward with confidence. Your best days are not ahead. They're here. Look ahead, chosen one. Can you sense it? This is the shift you have been waiting for. The promise is not coming. It is already unfolding before you. Walk into this new reality with faith, with confidence, with the unwavering certainty that this is only the beginning of the abundance God has prepared for you. Your time has come. The very things you prayed for, the financial breakthrough, the success, the stability, it is here, and nothing will ever be the same again. This is it. The confirmation, the validation, the undeniable proof that you have stepped into the destiny that was always meant for you. Think about Joseph. For years, he endured betrayal, slavery, and prison. It seemed as if his dreams would never come to pass. But in a single moment, God elevated him to second in command over Egypt. Genesis 41:41-44. The very people who doubted him had to witness his rise. Could it be that your own elevation is unfolding in the same way? That every delay, every struggle, every moment of doubt was leading to this breakthrough? The struggles, the doubts, the waiting, it was all necessary to prepare you for what is now being released into your life. Have you ever considered that the waiting season was actually a building season? That every tear, every sacrifice, every act of faith was positioning you for a harvest beyond what you imagined. God is handing you the keys to a life greater than anything you envisioned. But understand this wealth, this success, this freedom is not just for your comfort, it is for your purpose. Look at Elon Musk, a man who risked everything he had to pursue his vision. He faced bankruptcy, failure, and extreme doubt from those around him, but he refused to quit, and today he is one of the most influential innovators in the world. His wealth is not just about luxury, it is about expansion, vision, and impact. What if your breakthrough is about more than just financial freedom? What if God is positioning you to leave a legacy that will impact generations? The time of lack is over. The door is open. This is not just a breakthrough. This is the beginning of your divine assignment. Step forward. The world is about to see what happens when God elevates one of his chosen ones. You are now a vessel, set apart to walk in abundance, to inspire, to uplift, and to prove that God never fails. Have you ever wondered why your journey was so difficult? Why you had to endure so much before stepping into this season? It was never about the struggle. It was about the preparation. God was refining you, strengthening you, and molding you into someone who could not just receive abundance, but carry it with wisdom and purpose. The past is behind you. The weight of uncertainty is gone. The fear of failure, the doubt that whispered in your ear, the limitations that tried to hold you back, they are breaking. Every barrier that once stood in your way is now crumbling before your very eyes. You are standing at the threshold of the greatest chapter of your life. Nothing can stop what God has already set in motion. Think of the Israelites standing before the walls of Jericho. For years they had wandered in the wilderness, waiting for their moment of victory. And when the time came, all they had to do was step forward in obedience, and the walls fell before them. Joshua 6:20. Could it be that the walls in your life are falling right now? That your season of waiting has ended and your season of possession has begun? From this moment on, wealth is no longer a distant dream. It is your new reality. Peace is no longer something you hope for. It is the foundation on which you now stand. The life you once longed for is now the life you are living. Go forward with confidence, carry this blessing with gratitude, and never forget, this was not luck, this was not coincidence. This was divine intervention. You are chosen, you are destined, and this is just the beginning. Step forward. The world is about to see what happens when God's favor rests upon His chosen one. As we conclude today's powerful message, remember that you are chosen by God and His blessings are upon you. If you see the signs we've discussed, get ready. Your financial miracle is on its way. Keep the faith, trust in His timing, and know that God has great things in store for you. If this message has touched your heart, I encourage you to consider supporting the channel with a super thanks. Your generosity allows us to continue bringing you messages of hope and encouragement. Whether you choose to donate or not, I want to express my sincere gratitude for your presence and support. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this message with others who may need it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's build this community of faith together. May God bless you abundantly and bring His favor into your life today and always.